Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse review. I have two different figures here, both mainline releases. On the left we have the most recent of the two, we have Ice. And then on the right we have the Superman movie Metamorpho. I wanted both of these figures to, complete some kind of obscure character teams, etc. Obviously we got Fire as a Target exclusive, Ice here, mainline release. A bit strange for a mainline release, but it's nice to get an actual female figure that's not Batgirl or Catwoman. That's a mainline release. Can't remember the last one that we got that wasn't. And then on the right, we got Metamorpho. We don't have a comic book version of him, but this version's pretty good. And if anything, I could get a different head, swap it out. So, excited to look at both of these figures. Something weird I thought was just how much space they take up. Like obviously with Metamorpho, because of the way they cut the boxes, everything's raised up, so he's almost at the top of the box. Whereas Ice here, she's closer to the bottom. There's a lot of head space here that is not used. It's just kind of funny to see. It's like whoop. But it's a bit strange getting mainline releases for both of these characters, especially with Metamorpho, since all of the others got a deluxe theatrical edition. But there's the barcodes if you're looking for either one. And then, it says Ice and Metamorpho. You got Metamorpho, Ice there. And then you got pictures of both of them. But excited to open them up. Let's go ahead and see them out of their box. Alright, let's take a look at them accessories. Of course, they both come with a stand, but their stands are a little different. Ice has the DC logo in white, and for some reason, he gets the old DC logo in black. Again, I don't know why, because his box has the DC Studios logo, so I don't know why it's on there, but probably just leftover stock that they didn't want to remanufacture. They both come with a trading card, of course. This is what looks to be concept art from the movie. Of course, that's how they make the figures. But yeah, there you go. Tora Olafsdotter. Oh, sorry, Olafsdotter. There's a D in there. And Rex Mason. But there you go. Put those in the binder. The accessories themselves, a bit light. So he's got two fists on him, or two open hands, and these are both unique. They're not mirrored. They have different textures on them. One of them looks a little more dragon-like, and then this one looks a little bit more wood or even tree-like. Maybe dirt, sand, but nice to have at least something for Metamorpho. I wish he came with Baby Joey, but Ice here, she actually comes with a few different ice effect pieces that have been reused. They have came from the Batman and Robin Mr. Freeze Build-A-Figure wave. So she's got the big one, but I will say they are painted. They have, they got a nice, ooh, I like that. But they got a nice dry brush to them. There's a bit of white paint on top. My camera makes it look kind of crappy, but it's a good effect, especially in person. But, you can stick that on someone's arm. Like, there you go. Stick it on his arm as an example. And then you got another one here that's supposed to go like on someone's arm. And you could put this on Ice herself, but I do like the effect pieces. They're nice. And then she comes with the other two, which go on hands or feet. You could stick it on either. But again, using Metamorpho here, you can... His fist is a little too big. Let me take it off. But, you get the idea. You can put that one on there, and then you can just kind of fiddle with it. It's nice. So I'll probably keep these ones on her. So it's like she's, ice punching someone. Like she just balls her fists up, puts some ice on it, punches someone. Now, that would hurt. But, I feel like the dichotomy between these two figures is really striking. You have... They both look good, I will say that. But this is almost, if not completely, new sculpt, whereas this figure is almost completely reuse. There's only two new things on this figure as far as I can tell. Her feet might be new, but what's actually new here is the head sculpt and this piece. That's it. Yeah, she comes with a cloth good to, represent that. But what I don't like about it is, if you look in the image here, It lays right. It lays properly. It flows downward and back, like it's in the wind, right? This one, for some reason, acts as if the wind is going up. From what I could tell, it's just how they put it on. If I flipped it around, it might look better, but it's just the way that it's cut and manufactured. It looks like it's larger in the back, so I think their idea was, put it a little bit in the back here so that it would go underneath and then it would hold in place. But it just does. It's not a good look. But yeah, this figure is a complete reuse of the Batman movie Catwoman figure. Almost complete reuse. Like I said, the only new things is that, and maybe the feet, but I'm pretty sure the feet are reused as well. They look like they belong to this body. It's I would say it's smart reuse. At least it's not the other Catwoman body. That one would be too large. I think they went with this one because she's shorter than most male figures, and that makes sense. She's supposed to be shorter anyway. But I just don't really like this body mold. It just proportionally is all over the place. Like, it just doesn't look great, especially the cinched waist. I really don't like that. And if you look at the card again, you can see she's very thin in that region, but this just doesn't look right. Like, she's got a belt there, like she's doing it on purpose rather than it being a natural thing. It just, I don't like it. I like the texture work, of course, on this. Oh, I almost forgot. The boots are new because, it's got the tufts of fur. I did forget to mention that. That part is new from here down. But, yeah, almost complete reuse. Again, it doesn't look terrible, but I would have just preferred a new sculpt. Or, maybe use the one from Zatanna that came out, a couple months later. Like, use that figure's base. But, at least we got an ice, so now we have fire and ice, even though fire has her powers on all the time. But let's take a look at that head sculpt. It's a little doll-like. A little freaky looking, if you ask me. It looks like it's heavily caked in paint. It needs a little bit lighter of a touch, whereas this one's a bit more heavy. But then again, I don't know how makeup holds on someone who has ice powers. So, beats me. I will try to take this cloth piece off in a little bit here just to see if I can flip it around. But, it's just the Catwoman body mold. That's all it is. Like, that's all that's under there. Nothing interesting, really. Now, Metamorpho, on the other hand here, completely new sculpt. Completely new sculpt. Like I said, the only things that could be reused here is the neck peg and maybe the crotch piece. The inner crotch piece, not the outer. This is definitely new as well. I like this. This is really good. It looks just like Anthony Kerrigan from the movie. The amount of texture work on here is fantastic. Again, wish he came with some more accessories, but like, look at this. This thing really shines, especially in person. The amount of paintwork and detail that is on this figure is superb. Even on the legs down here, you got the green on top of the brown. It's slight, but it's there. And you even have a bit of a white wash on top of the transparent clear leg piece there. Check that out. Like, it actually transparent. That's cool. And he's even got the orange and blue little bits of paint there on the side of the figure. Again, really excellent job with this figure, and it's completely new. Like, that's awesome. I will say I do have a problem with my figure. I don't know if anyone else has it, but when I position him straight, this leg is rotated inward. So you can kind of see what I mean. The joint here, it goes outward rather than being straight flush with the leg. So I don't like that. It's a good representation of Metamorpho. I liked him in the movie. Did a good job there. Hopefully we see more of him and the rest of the Justice Gang. Although, with the recent news of Warner Brothers, my hopes aren't too high, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But let's look at that head sculpt. Look at that head sculpt. That's fantastic. Such a good job. So well painted. It's even got the weird bits of circular, fingerprint. That's what it is. It's like a fingerprint on his head, but it's a head print. It's a head print. But, you know, I'm not too big a fan of how they did the legs. So the legs here from the thigh, mid-thigh, down is all a different sculpt, but then it's like glued to these very hard sweatpants. I do wish these were actually cloth good, but oh well. But yeah, he looks great, and you know, if I was still doing my top 10 list from last year, 2025, he would have gotten an honorable mention for sure. He's really good, and he's on sale too right now. He's like $11, $12 wherever you get him. So I would definitely recommend it. Let's go into articulation. We'll start off with Ice here. Let's start off with the head. Can't really look up. I try. She can look down enough. And then pivot. The hair gets in the way a little bit. Full 360. Her arms go way up. She can really get some arm poses in there. And then that's on a rotator cuff joint. Actually, I'm trying to get this out of the way so you can see it rotate. There you go. And then, of course, whoop, swivel here. I don't like how the arms kind of bow outward like that. Reminds me of the Lightning Collection. Swivel there all the way. Double jointed elbow. Perfect double jointed elbow, actually. And then she's got wrist pegs, these gauntlets, or like belts, cuffs. They do get in the way of the hands a little bit, but she's got fists, so... Oh, I'm sorry, she has one left fist and then one grabby hand for some reason. It's not... I mean, she can, you know, she can grab onto that, I guess. And then, if I can get that arm down, we can take a look at the waist articulation. This is standard Mcfarlane. Can't really go forward much. Back is crazy. She break her spine there. And I don't like how that looks. Keep her in a neutral pose, otherwise it's just not gonna work out for you. Man, I don't like how that looks at all. All right, legs. Let's take a look at those. Pretty decent splits. What about a kick forward? The diaper gets in the way, but not really. Well, you can saw the toe bend. Again, toe bend on heels. Her foot's broken, essentially. All right, double jointed knees, but obviously that piece is going to get in the way, so she's not going to get much out of it. Of course, no boot swivel, but you got ankle swivel, and then you got ankle hinge up and down, and then you got the pivot as well. So a decent amount of articulation, but the sculpt ruins it. It looks weird. And this piece does not want to lay flat, so I'm definitely going to be spinning that around when I cut. And then Metamorpho here, the head sculpt. Good, very good pivot. Can look up a good amount, look down a good amount. Let's see how this... He has very, very good rotator cuff joints. They're a bit further out, so it allows for quite a lot of movement. At least on this arm. This arm has a lot of texture on it, so it's not really going to get too much better than that. I can't even get it up higher than that. But he's got a swivel, goes all the way around, no issues there. There's the swivel. Again, with it being textured, it's going to catch and stick. And then double jointed elbows. I'm doing it on both just because they are unique molds for both arms. That looks okay. It's going to fight someone. You taking my baby Joey away? No way. And then very good amount of side to side. Slight amount of forward, slight amount of back. Better than, you know, what you typically see. The sculpt doesn't get in the way of the swivels. That's nice to see. All right, let's see them splits. He does not want to. All right, that's as far as I'm willing to push it without breaking the figure. It's not an expensive figure, but like you can see just how big these chunky bits of plastic are. They really get up in his crotch in there and limit the splits. And it limits its kick as well. So you can't actually have him sit down like he does in the movie unless you want to cut the crotch piece. And you know what? You probably could. This goes up far enough. You might be able to. There's no swivel, of course. Double jointed knees. The tree one. And the ice one, I would be very careful with the ice one. Mcfarlane's clear plastic figures, they're known to have breakage. So obviously the joint itself is not made of clear plastic, but I would still be careful. And then you have the pivot, not the pivot, you have the hinge on the feet. And he is barefoot, by the way. He's got some toes in there. More so on this foot than this one. And then you got the swivel here. And then you got the pivots, which don't get in the way at all. That's good to know. Alright, so good amount of articulation on both of these figures. I think the winner would have to be Metamorpho. But trying to stand him up. He doesn't want to stand up like this. He wants to stand up more like that. So his height will depend on how you have him posed. But it's time for the best part of the view. Size comparisons. Ice here. At her tallest, she's just over 6.5, like just over. And then Metamorpho, he's closer to 7 or 6 3/4. Did I say 6.5 or 7.5 for Ice? I meant 6.5. Anyway, Metamorpho, we'll move him over here. Yeah, he's already leaning forward. But there's all the regulars. He's about the same height as Samoa Joe. Same thing with Ice. They're similar heights, but looks decent with Batman, I guess. But yeah, that's how they look next to other lines. So as you can see with the Superman movie figures, I've kind of run out of room. So I'm just going to stick him here so you can see the scale of Metamorpho. I'm actually going to put him in my comic shelf. But there's how he looks next to the rest of the live-action Superman movie figures. I'll go ahead and move him up now. Alright, he looks like he wants to fall, but he ain't. Alright, and then if we come up here, we can see how he looks next to some other comic figures. He's a little bit shorter than the Blue Beetle Booster Gold figures. But if we look back here, we can see Ice, and she's next to Fire. And I did swap around the cloth good piece. I think that looks way better, personally speaking. That looks way better in my opinion. But if you like it how it was, you can leave it. It doesn't sit right on the figure no matter which direction you put it. It does look a little weird both ways, but really glad to have a Fire and an Ice in the collection. I do still hope we get Fire, but in non-powered up form. But yeah, they look great. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of these two figures. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.